I heard there was this podcast, yo, about something funny like wrestling and you really care about wrestling, don't you? There are drop kicks and leases all over the board, and then something called the Wrestling Hold. It's a super duper fun podcast about wrestling. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. Well, Fro and Bill and maybe a guest or two is here to hold your hand and guide you through a podcast about wrestling. We have a lot of extreme fun, and that without the gun, because I needed something to rhyme fun with. That wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show. Well, sit your behinds gently down and listen to our podcast sound and try to guess this week's Pro question. You win a lot of cool things and also help Bill with his bills. That's a super duper fun competition. That wrestling show. 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 That wrestling show.
Just in time for National Ice Cream Day. It's That Wrestling Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 399. That's right, 399 episodes of That Wrestling Show. And you know what that means? We're going to be 400 years old next week. But to
400!
But to celebrate, Fro, I'm sure that you are going to be having your ice cream on a Sunday. Ha ha ha. I know, that was bad. Anyway, this week we're going to review Fight for the Fallen and Extreme Rules. Plus, we're going to have our first SummerSlam report. Al Out of Love is back, and he's going to update us on the current card for SummerSlam. Plus, we're going to get into some wrestling news going on.
What about doing the pay-per-views first?
Yeah, why don't we do that get that out of the way so we don't have to spoil, with SummerSlam a little later on.
Do you know what? It is very, very, very funny if you go back and I say, oh, one of the pay-per-views is going to be the better than the other, and I know what pay-per-view that is going to be. Well, I was fucking wrong.
Are we going to get to guess at the end, or?
No, I'm going to tell you now. Extreme Rules was better.
Oh my god! Yeah, I was going to wait to the end, but I'm just going to say it bluntly. You know, with all honesty, folks. We're not saying that Fight for the Fallen was a bad show, because it wasn't the worst. Like of the three that they've had, this might have been the worst.
Oh, it's definitely the worst of the three.
But it was still a good show.
Oh yeah, I will give them that. But I'm not. And it's hard. It's hard to criticize them because it's free and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm very glad that we're talking about this first because I have a lot to say.
Yeah. So. Let's talk about Fight for the Fallen. This is their last show before the big all-out pay-per-view, which is 6 weeks away now. So they've got plenty of time between now and August 31st.
But I saw that they are putting out some episodes called Road to... Or what is the next
Road to All Out?
Road to All Out, yeah.
First one's an important one
all right.
because we get something important that's going to take place during that. But you know, we'll talk about it when we get there.
But I have a question. Where do you find that?
It is on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Yep,
okay.
It is on YouTube for those that are interested. All right, so Fight for the Fallen was held in Jacksonville, Florida. It was held in an amphitheater, and I don't know if you got a chance to read...
Or as I was 100% sure for 50% of the pay-per-view, air hanger for some fucking reason. Yes.
I don't know if you heard where the inspiration for this, or at least the venue, came from. Did you hear about this?
No.
Tony Khan said in a recent interview a couple of days after the show that the area that the show was hosted in was inspired by the South Park episode where the boys run their own wrestling promotion.
Oh yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that is cool.
All right, so let's get into our buy-in matches. They're not pre-show matches; they're buy-in matches. And we start off with Peter Avalon, the librarian, against Sonny Kiss.
Yeah, I'm going to say this again. They need to fucking stop this gimmick. I'm so tired of this gimmick already, and she has not really done anything. Yeah, I'm so tired of this gimmick already. It does not work. Can you just stop it?
Obviously, you're referring to the librarian gimmick.
Yes.
Not
yes.
Sonny Kiss.
No, Sonny Kiss is okay.
You know, we're in wrestling. It's a trial and error thing.
Oh, this is a big error. That's me.
But as far as the match itself goes, I thought it was a decent match. I enjoyed it.
It was okay.
Yeah, I thought Sonny Kiss came out looking really good in this match.
Yeah.
Sonny Kiss got the win with a really neat move. I've never seen it before. He does a split leg from the second rope, and he just drops down. I've never seen a move like that. That was really cool to see.
But I feel like this librarian gimmick and the girl is kind of there to be a middle card. What do you call it when people take a pinfall all the way?
You mean a jobber?
A jobber, yes. Thank you.
I gave this a C plus.
I gave this a C minus.
All right. Meltzer gave this 1.25 stars.
Mm-hmm.
CBS Sports gave it a D.
I think D is a little...
That's a bit harsh, I think.
Yeah.
How dare you, CBS? How dare you?
Even me that doesn't like the gimmick gave it a C minus.
Then our other buy-in match was a women's tag team match, Britt Baker and Riho against the debuting Bea Priestley and Shoko Nakajima.
Yeah, and I have to say there's one wrestler that doesn't fit in here, and it's Britt Baker.
I'm a little, I'll tell you who I was really impressed with in this match was Priestley.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not Britt Baker.
Really impressed with her. Nakajima I thought was good. Baker, I'm gonna give her a pass because during this match she got concussed. And for those who didn't see the match, at one point she goes to the wrong corner to make a tag and has to be told right away, go to the other side. So that affected her mobility and it affected her all around. I thought this was a good match. Like I said, I really like Priestley. I can't wait to see more of her in competition. Nakajima, I think, is really good. Riho has just been very good since we've seen her from the very beginning, from the Double or Nothing show. Baker, it just really wasn't her night. Priestley and Nakajima got the win. I gave this a B minus.
Ooh, you are very much more kind than me because I gave it a C.
Okay. Meltzer rated this 2.75 stars. CBS Sports gave it a C. Then after Jim Ross came out, we go to the main show, and we start with a 6-man tag team match. MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Shawn Spears against Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, and Joey Janela.
Can I just say something about the JR thing? Mm-hmm. Is he going to do that every fucking time?
Maybe for like the pay-per-views?
But... Because now he's dubbed for 3 times, and I'm like, yeah, I know you're coming out. I understand.
We know you're.
We know you're there. Yeah. It feels a little misplaced. That's all.
The thing with that, and I just thought of it real quickly. If you go to a WWE show, doesn't matter if it's... Well, yeah, it does matter. Because if it's a house show, you're not going to see them. But if it's like a TV taping or if it's a pay-per-view, they do entrances for the announcers. They just don't play them on TV.
Right.
So... It's not uncommon, but it's not uncommon for them to do that. What's uncommon is to do it on television. So
it's just very, very weird.
And JR has the same theme song over and over again.
Yeah. Anyway,
6-man tag started this off. I thought this was a good match. I enjoyed this one. These guys put a lot into it. I thought a good side story to this was the friction between MJF and Shawn Spears. There was some friction between the two. They managed to get along, for the greater good of the team. Janela looked good. Allen looked good again. I thought everyone came off looking good in this match.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This was the better of because this is the last pre-show match, isn't it?
No, this was the opening match of the pay-per-view.
Oh, this is the opening match. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, it's a good opening match. Yeah, definitely. It gets the pacing correctly, and it was good to see some good wrestling.
Yeah. Shawn Spears pins Darby Allin to win the 6-man tag match. Sticking it to Cody Rhodes, because from the previous show, Cody went to the time limit with Darby. And more than likely, we're going to get Shawn Spears and Cody at All Out in 6 weeks. I gave this a B.
I gave this a B-.
Okay. Meltzer rated this 3 stars. CBS Sports gave it a C. And you probably have noticed, if you haven't by now, we are not mentioning ESPN because they don't do this. Not for AEW. They'll do it for WWE, because they gave them a friggin' award. But anyway. Now, I want to mention this part real quick, because I thought this was funny. They showed people who were in the audience before the second match during the pay-per-view. And we get some athletes, and Private Party is there. Well, Jeb Bailey, the guy that wrestled Nakazawa on the last event, he was there, and then security asked him to leave, which was sort of funny. So, our next match, Brandy Rhodes against Allie.
Oh, I'm so sad to talk about this.
This was the worst match of the show.
It's so sad.
Let's just put it as it is. Because...
But it has absolutely nothing to do with one of the competitors.
Right. Because Awesome Kong comes out before the match, and Brandy just goes right after Allie. And this is pretty much the story of the match, is anytime Allie gets an offensive, she gets distracted by Awesome Kong in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Which later turns out to be a benefit for Brandy Rhodes, because Awesome Kong, Amazing Kong, whatever you want to call it.
that would be funny if Tony Kong was there.
Yeah. This attacks Allie, and Brandy ends up getting the win. After the match is where it gets interesting, because we get Aja Kong to come out to the ring. Now, Aja Kong was at Double or Nothing, and we get the stare down between Awesome Kong and Aja Kong. So I got a sneaky feeling, Fro, that we're going to get the Battle of the Kongs at All Out. Because that part was the best part of the whole match, was the two of them facing each other. Other than that, this match was...
Yeah, it's so sad.
And the only reason I'm giving this match the grade it gets is because Allie was able to keep it a match. Otherwise, this could have been Slop City.
I mean, Allie's so much better than that.
She is.
It's so sad to see someone like that getting such a bad match.
I gave this a C, only because of Allie.
I gave it a D-.
Meltzer gave this 1.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it a D+. Now we go... go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's definitely because I love Allie. I mean, I've said that before. She's one of my favorite wrestlers. Maybe female wrestlers of all time, actually. That's saying something, because I love female wrestling. But she's maybe my favorite of all time. And I think it's so sad when she's set in something so bad like this.
Well, hopefully things will get better for her. Next up is the 3-way tag team match, where the winning team would face the best friends at All Out for the right to get a first round bye in the tag team tournament. The teams in this match were the Dark Order, Jack Evans and Angelico, and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
Mm-hmm.
This match really makes up for the previous match.
Yeah, this is such a good match.
This was a fun tag match, and during this, I sort of joked, but I was sort of being serious about this because I like the Jungle Boy gimmick, with him and Luchasaurus. He's got a pet dinosaur. Why not have a Jungle Girl?
Mm-hmm.
Might not be a bad idea,
No, I agree.
There were some good spots in this. Marco Stunt, who came out with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, got involved before he got thrown out, and that's going to be a thing throughout this night. Is we're going to see more than one person get ejected from ringside during this event. Dark Order gets the win. Not really surprised about that.
No.
I thought the teams came off looking good in this one.
I thought they are making Jungle Boy look fucking golden. I think they have a lot of trust in him.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's only 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
So he's got plus he's got a few years under his belt. Not a lot, but he's got a few years. I gave this a B-.
I totally agree with you, actually.
All right. Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars. CBS Sports also gave it a B-. So pretty much a B- all around on that one. Next match was Adam Page against Kip Sabian. This was a really good match to watch.
It's maybe my favorite match of the night. Maybe.
It's getting there.
It's good. It's good.
This is a good match. At one point during the match, a fan, and this is outside of the ring, a fan yells at Kip Sabian, and Sabian plants a kiss on him, which was great.
Very funny. Very funny, yeah.
Not only was this a good match, this was also a physical match, and I thought that made it a good part of this match. The story here was how physical it was, because Adam Page, and they were talking about it, he's got this big title match coming up with Jericho, and he's basically putting his body on the line 7 weeks before the biggest match of his life. But
it was very clear that he had to win, because if he didn't win, it would be absolutely no build up to that match.
Exactly.
So, yes, I liked the match, but it was extremely predictable.
It was. Adam Page got the win in a good match. This was a good match. We're not taking away that it was predictable or anything, but this was a good match.
It was a good match. I'm just saying that the predictability of the match kind of destroyed it a little.
After the match, a masked man comes in to attack Adam Page. It turns out to be, not surprisingly, Chris Jericho, and he beats the daylights out of Adam Page to the point where he is busted open hard way around the eye. And if you've seen a picture or a video, Adam Page's eye, I am surprised it did not swell to the point that it closed his eye.
Right.
I was surprised about that. I gave it a B.
Yeah, it's good.
What grade would you give?
I give it a little B- because it was so predictable, I guess.
Okay. Meltzer gave this 3.25 stars. CBS Sports also gave it a B-. Next up was a tag team match, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky against the Lucha Brothers. Oh man, this was a fun match.
Yeah, I did not get this match. I think other people liked it much more than I did.
Mm-hmm.
This of the main card, this is maybe one of my least favorite matches, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was really good. I mean, the Lucha Brothers, they go out early, they take control. At one point, Pentagon Jr. chops pretty much everybody, and there's one chop that is so loud that it just gave me the goosebumps. It just, it gave the chills down your spine. Eventually, Christopher Daniels got involved. He gets thrown out from ringside for the match. It's back and forth. Lucha Brothers get the win. And after the match, and this was a little weird, but it does lead to something, Pentagon and Phoenix bring a ladder out and attack Kazarian and Sky. And then they get on the mic and they challenge the Young Bucks to a ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
So that match is going to be insane. When it happens.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I gave the match a B+.
I gave this a C-.
All right. Meltzer gave this 3 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B. Now we go to our semi-main event: Shima versus Kenny Omega.
Yes.
I thought this was the best match of the show.
Yeah, it's between this and the other one that I mentioned.
All right. Just really good back and forth action. At one point, Shima goes up on the stage and hits a dive onto Omega. It's just good wrestling all around. Clean match. Omega gets the win with the one-winged angel. I think it's the first time he's actually used it since being in AEW. And this was sort of a dream match because these two actually never wrestled in Japan against each other, which I find surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And Omega got the win in a really, really good match.
Mm-hmm.
I like I said, this was my favorite match. I gave it an A-.
I gave it a B+.
All right. Meltzer gave this 4.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A.
Wow.
Yeah. Before we go to the main event, Chris Jericho came back out. He was cutting a mic on the promo. Or cutting a promo on the mic. There you go, folks. You got what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Basically to hype up the big match with Page. And then Adam Page came out. They fought even more. A couple referees got knocked down. Dean Malenko got knocked down. I don't know if you caught that during the whole skirmish.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But really good setup. Really right there to set up for that main event. Because it has to be the main event of that show.
It was very smart.
Yeah. And then we go to the main event of this show, a tag team match, the Young Bucks against Cody and Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm disappointed in this match.
It was a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good match. I think part of it might have been the heat. Because I'm not making an excuse, but I'm being, completely honest. The heat played a little bit of a factor in there because you could tell, because the fans that were sitting at ringside, they had, the little fans during the match or during the whole night, actually.
Right.
And, you know, you could tell they were getting tired. You could really tell. It was, like I said, it was a good match, good back and forth. The heat, I think, really got to all four of these guys. At the end, the Young Bucks pinned Cody Rhodes to get the win via the Meltzer driver. And then after the match, they're gonna cut a promo, or they start to cut a promo, and then they get interrupted because they have to do the presentation of the check for gun violence control. So we don't really know what the rest of that promo would have been. I gave the match a B.
Yeah, it was a B- for me.
All right. Meltzer gave this 4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B as well. As far as our Facebook group, what did they think of this show? Because I keep calling it a pay-per-view. You know, you're just so used to saying pay-per-view, you know?
I mean, it is, and it isn't a pay-per-view at the same time.
Exactly. Majority gave this show a B.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
It's a very weak B, but it's still a B.
Yeah, and one person gave it an A. I'm going to agree with the majority. I'm going to give this a B. I think it goes back to what you and I said before we started reviewing this show, which is it was a good show, but if you're looking at AEW as far as the 3 shows go, this was the worst of the 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so on Sunday we had
Sunday.
We had Extreme Rules. And
this was better.
Oh my!
What a surprise this pay-per-view was.
Man. You may be talking about, I'm going to say it right now, maybe the best WWE pay-per-view of the year right now.
Oh, this year? Oh, definitely.
Of this year, the best WWE.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think, I can't think of a better one this year.
The only other one that would be close would be WrestleMania, but I think...
No.
Well, no, hold on.
Too long.
Hold on there, Fro. I think the difference between this show and WrestleMania, where with WrestleMania, it felt long. This show did not feel long at all.
No.
So, we have 2 kickoff matches. A surprise. We have 2 of them. And we start with a match that maybe should have been on the pay-per-view. I don't really know. Finn Balor defending the Intercontinental title against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, what a surprise this was first. And I said, okay, the only reason to have it on the pre-show is to exchange titles. And yeah, I guess I was right.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I thought Finn was going to keep the title. I thought it was good for the amount of time that they got. They really didn't get a lot of time.
No.
According to this, I'm reading they got like 7.5 minutes, which I'm not complaining. Good back and forth match. Shinsuke hits the Kinshasa, and we have a new Intercontinental Champion. A clean win, Fro. A clean win. I gave it a B-. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I gave it a B- as well.
All right. Meltzer gave this 2 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a C+, and we got to bring them in begrudgingly. ESPN, they actually did give a grade to a pre-show match. They gave it a 3 out of 5.
Wow.
Then our other pre-show kickoff, whatever you want to call it, match, Tony Nese challenging Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight title.
or as I am calling it now, I stopped caring about this title 2 pay-per-views ago. Yeah, it's just like my biggest problem with this is that I don't watch 205 Live. I will never watch 205 Live. I have no interest in 205 Live. It would be a little if I didn't watch NXT and watched just the title matches.
Right.
Like it has no meaning to me, and it's not that they are bad wrestlers, but I've stopped caring about this title at least 3 weeks ago. So I when I don't care, I don't get interested, and they were not giving that much time anyway. So I don't know if I feel bad for them or what I do, but yeah, no, this is the worst match of the night, and that's sad.
I think if you're looking for wrestling ability, this was good. But other than that, it was a quick match. Drew Gulak got the victory to keep the title. I gave it a C+.
Yeah, I give it a D-.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Meltzer gave this 2.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it a C. ESPN gave it a 3 out of 5.
Like I said, it's hard to give it a grade when you don't care about anybody in the match.
Right.
Because like wrestling ability has never. We talked before about this.
Mm-hmm.
I know people will disagree with me. I would rather have a good storyline than a good match. For me to care about the match instead of just have wrestling ability matches is very for me it's very important. I know that people say, oh, then why do you watch New Japan? And I can understand that. I can understand that comeback to a certain degree, but they are very good at giving storytelling in their matches.
Yeah.
Where I do think WWE shows absolutely no storytelling, and how I can say that is especially with the 205 Live, because we have no package for 205 Live title. We have absolutely no reason to know why this match is going on. We don't know the criteria of this. So for me, it feels very strange to care about something that WWE doesn't care about.
That's fair. That's understandable.
Yeah. That's my little rant.
Yeah. All right, so now we go to the main show. I was a little surprised that this was the opening match of this.
I was very surprised that this was the opening match.
It is Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre against Roman Reigns and The Undertaker in a no-holds-barred tag match.
Mm-hmm. Where was the no-holds bar, no disco, DQ match?
Oh, this is going to be where I get to the beginning of my problems for this. I want to point out the positives first before I get into the negatives. Undertaker looked amazing in this match.
Do you know what? I totally agree with you. We have someone that doesn't agree to that, but I don't listen to him anyway. But there's something about this that just it was amazing.
I think Undertaker wanted to prove after the match in Saudi Arabia that he could still go. And
he can.
And he can. Another thing that I enjoyed was how Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre could still be such a great team as heels.
Mm.
And that's really all well, the other thing that I really enjoyed is that Shane's, well, upcoming spoilers here, Shane was the one that took the pin.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Drew, it was Shane. Shane was the one who got beat.
Yeah, for not caring about this match at all and having absolutely no expectations of it, this entertained me more than it should.
Now, here's where my problems begin. First of all, it is a no-holds-barred match.
Yeah, I know.
Why are we making tags?
I know.
Why are we making tags in a no-holds-barred match?
It makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense.
Another problem I had with this match was the pacing, especially once the no-holds-barred rules went into effect, because it just felt slow for a majority of the time. And it was like you're waiting for something to happen. It's like, okay, come on, just come on, come on, and it just takes forever.
We were kind of laughing because 20 minutes in the pay-per-view.
Oh, that's another thing.
The match hadn't started yet.
That's okay. Thank you for pointing that
out.
That's another thing, because
just so stupid.
Because we get the pay-per-view intro, which we're used to. We get the the theme.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Shane and Drew walking. And then they play a video package of this match. Then we get Shane's entrance. We get Drew's entrance. We get Roman's entrance. We get Undertaker's entrance. The match doesn't begin until 7:15, which would be 1 a.m. in the morning where Fro is. So basically, you wasted 15 minutes of a pay-per-view to do video packages and intros.
Yeah, it's I
don't know who thought of that one. I really don't.
It is very, very bad.
It was. I gave this is going to surprise, I think, everyone. I gave this a C-.
I gave it a C- as well.
Because as much as there was good, and believe me, there was, the negative outweighed the positive on this.
I totally agree.
Meltzer gave this match 4 stars. Oh, and I think we should say real quick, Fro, before we continue, we're not giving this a low grade because of the entrance. We're really not.
No.
We're giving it because of the match. CBS Sports gave it a B. ESPN gave it 3 3/4 out of 5. Now, the next match is for the Raw Tag Team titles. The Revival defending against the Usos. Okay, I'm thinking going in, this is going to be a good match. This is sloppy. There are some sloppy moments at times.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad.
The one point for me, and this scared the bejesus out of me. One of the Usos is on the top rope, because I can never tell the Usos apart. I really can't. One of the Usos, and I think it's Wilder, they're on the top rope. The Uso loses his balance, goes to the floor. Wilder loses his balance, his back lands on the top rope, and I thought to myself, oh my God, I thought he was going to be paralyzed, but thankfully he didn't. The Revival got the Shatter Machine to win to keep the tag titles. If they had, I don't know, it just felt sloppy to me. I didn't enjoy this match as much as, I wanted to.
Yeah.
I gave it a C.
Yeah. This is sad.
Is that the grade you're going with?
Yeah.
Okay. Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B. ESPN gave it 3.5 out of 5. And then Michael Cole, after the match, he was like, "That was a clinic in tag team wrestling." No. Speaking of clinics, this next match was a clinic. Cesaro against Aleister Black. This was a good match. I enjoyed the heck out of this one.
Very good.
At one point, Cesaro mocks Aleister Black with the crisscross, sitting pose, which I thought was really good. Just good wrestling all around. Just really good wrestling. Period. In this match. Aleister Black wins with the black mass. It's his first singles pay-per-view match, and he looks real good in it. I really, really hope, Fro, they push this guy to the moon. He deserves it. He's that good.
Yep.
I gave it a B.
I gave it a B+.
Meltzer gave this 3 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B+, and ESPN gave it 3.5 out of 5. Before we go to our next match, we have a backstage segment. R-Truth and Carmella are putting missing signs for the 48-7 European Intercontinental title. Although it was so funny. Although it gets a longer name by Tuesday. Do you want to know what R-Truth calls it now?
No. It
is the 48-7, 24-7 European Intercontinental I-95 212 championship belt.
It's so funny.
So, as they're doing this, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross come out. R-Truth asks Alexa if she's seen Hornswoggle, which is Drake Maverick for those who don't know what we're talking about. Alexa then gives Nikki a present, and it's a ripped t-shirt. And then Street Profits come out, and we get good interaction between all four of them. So this was, because you know me, I'm not a big fan of backstage segments when it doesn't matter. But this one, I enjoyed. This one.
It was so funny, and it worked. I love it when it works.
Yeah. Next match is the 2-on-1 handicap match for the SmackDown Women's title. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross challenging the champion Bayley. And this was the match that Fro thought, according to 1,000 dirt sheets, Sasha Banks was going to come back to save her BFF, which did not happen.
I was incorrect.
And so were those dirt sheets. Don't ever trust the dirt sheets, Fro, unless it's me. And I don't even do dirt sheets. I don't write dirt sheets. Just if you're going to get real info, get it from a reliable source.
But, I didn't, sit there and wait for it, so...
You weren't sitting on your thumbs waiting for Sasha Banks? Decent match here.
Yes.
Bayley hits the Macho Man elbow drop on Nikki to get the 3 count in the victory. I gotta be honest, I was a little bit expecting Alexa to turn on Nikki after the match, but it didn't happen. So, I gave it a C+.
I gave it a C.
Okay. Meltzer gave this 2 1/4 stars. CBS Sports also gave it a C+. ESPN gave it 2.5 out of 5. And then...
Sorry?
Oh, they gave it 2.5.
They gave it 2.5. Okay, sorry.
And then this is where the pay-per-view turns for the better. It starts.
Hallelujah! It's getting better.
Right here. Because we're not saying the show is bad.
No.
At this point, it's an okay show. But this is where it turns for the better. Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman in a last man standing match, which far surpassed all expectations that I had of this match. I knew you were really looking forward to this match. Did it go past your expectations?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, folks, if you haven't seen this match, this is a fun match to watch.
I can't remember a last time I saw a last standing match that was this fun.
Oh, I know. I think they're in the ring for a total of 30 seconds for this match.
Mm-hmm.
They go into the crowd.
And it's so good to finally see that they are using, like, we were talking about this, like, there's one Extreme Rules match in the Extreme Rules. Mm-hmm. But it's so good to see that this match is not just pang, pang, pang in the ring.
Yeah.
It's all over. And it's really all over.
It is. They go up into the stands. They go through, or they go into, the concession area. There are fans there. At one point, I point out there's a sign that they're working on a concession area. We go to the merchandise area, and at one point, we point out there's a fan trying to get in between the two security guards to get to it, and it looked like he was stopped. And it looked like he was trying to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
So they break the merchandise area. Then they come back around, down. Mm-hmm. They break the barricade. They go to the German announce table. Bobby dumps the German announce table onto Braun. Braun manages to get up. And then Bobby Lashley attempts, and that's the key word, attempts to jump from the top of the barricade onto Braun. He slips, but thankfully landed on his feet. Braun catches him. Braun throws Bobby Lashley into the other set of international announcers. We may have lost the Mandarin team from that one. And then I have to point this out because as soon as Luke said it, I wrote it down on my notebook, because I had to remember this. At one point, go back if you haven't seen what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. There is a fan holding a Geraldo Rivera head. We are not kidding. There is a guy with a Geraldo Rivera head. He's just holding the sign. It is absolutely hilarious. And then they go back into the stands. Bobby knocks down a guy who looks like Stu Hart. So Stu Hart came back to life only to be killed again. A couple other fans get knocked over. They're fighting on the edge of what looks like an entrance exit for the fans. And they go through this set of plywood. And it's done so well. Mm-hmm. And even though this one moment is the stupid moment, it still makes this match really good. Because the referee comes down from where Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman dropped. Let's just say it is. Dropped. He goes down and he starts counting. Well, he's counting at a wall. There's no... It's like, how can you see, who's up? He's counting basically a wall. That was what Luke said. And then Braun Kool-Aid Mans through the wall and wins this match. A fantastic match. Just a fun match. I loved this to death. I gave this an A-.
I gave this an A.
Oh my god, this was so fun.
My favorite match of the night.
Ooh, it's close.
Yep.
It's real close.
No, it is my favorite.
For me, I'll explain. Meltzer gave this 3 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B. ESPN gave it 3.5 out of 5. Now, the next match, and it's like, okay, how in the world is it going to follow this match? Triple threat match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Big E and Xavier Woods, along with Heavy Machinery, challenge Daniel Bryan and Rowan for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
Yeah. And again, I'm going to say it. It's very hard to care about the wrestling match when you don't care about one of the teams in...
But bro, this was so good! This was so good!
I've seen the praise on the internet for this. I'm not a huge fan of this because of one of the teams.
Good. It's so good.
I'm sorry. I don't care about...
There's too many spots to call. And I think what, for me, made me really enjoy this was the fact that there were points where it looked like, you'd believe, oh my god, this team's going to win the title, or this team's going to retain the title. It was just so freaking good. And surprisingly, Big E and Xavier Woods win the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I did not see that coming. I really didn't.
People are not going to like my rating for this because I hated that they won. I hated it.
So, what grade would you give this match?
A C minus.
You're fired. No. Okay.
No, I give it a C minus.
Okay.
I didn't.
I was joking about you being fired, by the way.
It's okay. You can fire me because I don't get paid, so...
No, I would fire... Well, I don't get paid either. Actually, off topic real quick. Michael Quinn from our Vantage Point, which we plug every week on this show, he posted a very interesting but funny article, and I'll send it to you for a little later on. You have to read it. About a person who stopped doing podcasts after 6 episodes because they didn't get sponsors and weren't getting paid. I am not kidding.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Oh, that's stupid. Okay, yes.
Okay, back to this. I originally gave this a B+, but after talking about it, I bumped it up to an A-. Meltzer gave this 4 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A-. ESPN gave it 3.5 out of 5.
I know I'm the only one that didn't like this.
You probably are the only one that didn't like it.
I know.
Then we had
then again, I like the main event, so...
Right.
So am I.
Then we had a Paul Heyman promo, basically saying, my client's going to cash in tonight. Next match was for the United States title, AJ Styles against Ricochet. This was another good match.
Yep.
I enjoyed this one.
Did I say that I liked the main event?
Yeah,
I meant
you did.
hate the main event.
We'll
I'm
get into
sorry.
that a little later.
I'm very, very sorry that I said that I liked the main event. It was a slip of my tongue. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. this is basically AJ Styles dominating with some help from Gallows and Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good.
It's so good to see him heel.
Yeah.
He's such a good heel.
Oh, he is.
Oh.
It's weird because he's one of the few wrestlers where he can play a very good face, but he can also play a very good heel as well. There's very few that can get away with doing that. You know, like Dusty Rhodes, you know, was a really good baby face. There's not enough footage for him, you know, as a heel. I can't say if he was a good heel or not. Hogan was a really good face, but he was also a really good heel. Triple H is a really good heel. He's not quite that good as a face.
No.
You know, not saying he's the worst face in the world, but, you know.
No.
Ricochet hits a 450 onto AJ Styles to only get a 2 count because AJ's foot was under the bottom rope. And then Ricochet attempted another move, but Luke Gallows tripped him up. And then AJ Styles hit a Styles Clash from the middle rope to win the U.S. title. I gave it a B. A strong B.
I gave it a B+.
Meltzer gave this 3 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it an... What did they give this one? Hold on. They gave it an A. Okay.
Wow.
ESPN gave it 4 out of 5. In our quickest match of the night, Dolph Ziggler fought Kevin Owens. Here's the highlight. Stone Cold Stunner. Kevin Owens wins. After the match, Owens cuts a promo. This was basically storyline driven, this match. I gave it a C.
I didn't rate it. It's too
I was thinking about not rating it, but
yeah, I don't rate this. It is a little too dark, too fast. I mean,
Meltzer did not rate this match, so you're not alone. CBS Sports gave it a C. ESPN gave it a half out of 5. Then we go to the WWE Championship match. Samoa Joe challenging Kofi Kingston. And where's the love for this match? Because
where is the love of this match?
Yes, this was great.
I totally agree with you.
Because this match is basically Samoa Joe beating the crap out of Kofi Kingston. This is, because, you know, you talked about a few minutes ago how you were a story-driven fan. This is the ultimate, I'm not going to say it's the ultimate, but this is a story-driven match, and it's done really well, because Samoa Joe, from the bell, is beating the crap out of Kofi Kingston. Kofi attempts a move here or there, but it's Samoa Joe, still going. Samoa Joe at one point takes Kofi Kingston's hand, puts Kofi's middle finger underneath the steps, and jumps on the steps to hurt Kofi Kingston's middle finger. Which was really, really good. And it's like, oh my God, you know, Joe's gonna win the title. He's basically beating the snot out of Kofi Kingston, and then all of a sudden, Kingston hits Trouble in Paradise and gets the 3 count for the win. And I didn't mind that ending at all, because you could say, hey, Kofi Kingston won on a fluke.
Yeah.
Because this was really good.
It was. I don't understand why people don't like this.
I haven't seen much love for it, but it deserves it, I think. I gave it a B+.
I gave it a B+ as well.
Meltzer gave this 2.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B-. ESPN gave it 2.5 out of 5.
Yep, that was the last match, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, I think it was.
No.
Any news this week?
Bro.
What?
No.
What?
We can't avoid this.
Well, are you sure?
I'm sure.
Are you 100% sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Because I really, 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 really want to avoid this.
It's like trying to avoid the plague, man. Just can't. Well, I mean, today you can avoid the plague, but 500 years ago you couldn't.
Because I want to go la 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 la. This match didn't happen. La 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 la. This and this didn't happen. La 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 la.
All right. How about we talk about the actual match that happened?
The match itself is actually good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's talk about
the actual match.
And then I'll give you the cliff notes on the other thing. So the main event is the very tongue-twisting described mixed tag team Extreme Rules winners take all match. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Mm-hmm.
Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Now, what I didn't notice right away, and it took me till after the pay-per-view, Fro, and I want to see if you noticed this. Did you see what Lacey Evans had written on the back of her trunks?
No.
It had Seth on it.
Ah, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. And there was a very extreme, pardon the pun, close-up of Lacey Evans' assets. Let's just call it that.
Yes.
Again, for some reason, you have to tag your partner in during this match.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's Extreme Rules!
Extreme Rules. Thank you.
Oh, this makes no sense.
Once we get past that, is when we really get into the good stuff.
It's a very good match.
It is. It is a good match. They really put themselves on the line. All 4 of them. I'm going to give all of them credit in this match. Becky does a jump from the middle rope on to Lacey through the table. And then Seth does a jump from literally the turnbuckle post onto Baron Corbin, which was insane. And then, let's get to the end of the match. Baron Corbin gives Becky End of Days, which was surprising, but it was done really well. I liked that spot. I
was so shocked, and it worked so well.
Yes, because Seth sees it, and he loses his mind. Just loses his mind. He beats the snot out of Baron Corbin. He gives him chair shot after chair shot after chair shot, and Lacey at this point is seeing what is going on, and instead of helping her partner, just slowly walks to the back as she's leaving. 3 curb stomps later, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch win the match to retain their titles. That is until...
And we go to black. Bye, everybody. That was the end of the pay-per-view. Yes.
And then we go to the cliff.
La 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 la.
Brock Lesnar cashes in.
La la la.
2 F5s later, Brock wins the Universal title. Now, as far as the match, the actual match itself, I gave it a B+.
I gave it a B+ as well.
This was really fun.
It was.
Meltzer gave this 3.25 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B. ESPN gave it 3.25 out of 5. And that is their coverage for Extreme Rules. Now, what did our group think of this event? Most people gave it a B. Some people gave it a C. One person gave it an A. And you could make you could make a really good argument.
I think it's a very strong B.
Yeah.
Very. When I thought AEWA was a very, very weak B, this is a very strong B.
Yeah. I mean, you can make the case for it being... You could make a case for it being an A. And this was a strong pay-per-view.
Oh, it's very... almost A.
Yeah, it's real close. I'm going to give it a B, but it's real close. It is real close.
I wish I could give a B+.
Let me read you some of the comments left on this for the pay-per-view. I would have given it a B, but the outcome with Lesnar makes it a C, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what? I love that person.
The person who gave it an A wrote, actually thought it was very good. I'm rarely impressed, but you definitely could tell there was a difference in this pay-per-view. A rare A for WWE. Oh, you know what? He's absolutely right. There was a big difference in this one, in this pay-per-view. Well. Other quote or other comments. Show was going really good till the Lesnar cash in. It sounds like people are getting tired of Lesnar. I know I am. At one time, I know that I did like him. Now I am so tired of him. Okay, here's my stand on this, and I'm gonna defend myself, bro. So don't beat me up for what I'm about to say. I actually liked Lesnar cashing in at that time. At that time, for this reason, because we're gonna go into our SummerSlam report in a moment. If this is only a 4-week reign to let Seth have the belt again, to have him win in a legitimate match, because if you remember how he won it at WrestleMania was with a few low blows, I am absolutely all for it. So just remember that. All right. Fro and I, we've been talking for over an hour. We're going to take a break. We are now going to go to our first SummerSlam report, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some news going on in the world of wrestling.
Yeah, and I will tell you how long Lesnar can keep the title before I quit WWE.
All right, let's go to our SummerSlam report. Ladies and gentlemen, SummerSlam is just 3 weeks away from this Sunday night, coming back north of the border to Toronto, Ontario, Canada for the first time in 15 years. And it will be at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. You can see it on the WWE Network. Mark the date down. Sunday night, August the 11th, 7 p.m. is the start for what will truly be one of the most memorable SummerSlams in recent memory. Now then, the tickets are all sold out for this event. You probably will not be able to fit another person in the arena, especially with the main event of this SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar defending the Universal title against Seth Rollins. Now, of course, this past Monday night on Raw, Seth Rollins won a Battle Royal for the right to get his opportunity at Brock Lesnar. This is the third and maybe final confrontation between the two, with everything on the line. It's one apiece. Who will take the third and final match and truly be the Universal Champion? Now, another match that a lot of people are looking forward to this SummerSlam is the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch will defend her title against Natalya. Natalya has home field advantage, as the old sports cliche goes, because she will be in Canada. Now, Becky Lynch, she's been on quite a roll this last year, and really, the momentum for Becky Lynch really began last year at SummerSlam when she lost a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's title. 1 year later, could it come full circle? Could Becky Lynch lose the Raw Women's title at SummerSlam? Another match that's going to take place at SummerSlam, and it's another championship match. The SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line. Bayley defending against Ember Moon. Ember Moon has been wanting this opportunity for a long, long time, and she's going to finally get it under the biggest stars of them all in the hot, hot summer sun. Folks, you don't want to miss what could truly be one of the biggest and one of the greatest SummerSlams of all time. All you have to do to watch SummerSlam is subscribe to the WWE Network. That's all you have to do. And if you do, you get your first month free without having to pay a single coin, paying a single dime. This one will truly be a SummerSlam for the ages. With your SummerSlam report, I'm Al Out of Love. Welcome back, folks, and we're going to get into some news now. And, Fro, we're going to actually begin with some very good news.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of our favorite shows that we've talked about, because we talk about some shows here and there, but one that you and I, we really liked was Dark Side of the Ring.
Very much so.
Well, I am happy to tell you it is getting a second season.
I'm very happy to hear that.
According to WrestleZone, we'll go with WrestleZone here by way of the Wrestling Observer. Viceland has reached a deal to air a second season of the show. We already know 2 episodes because the people who recorded the show, they had recorded 8, but only released 6. So the 2 that did not air in season 1 that we're going to get for season 2 are Dino Bravo and Chris Benoit.
Ooh. Really? I did not think they would fuck with Chris Benoit.
I mean, that
is actually taking a chance.
You know, and I was thinking about it too yesterday. It's been 12 years since that whole incident happened. That is still a touchy subject to this day.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how they do that. The Bravo one's going to be interesting because I remember watching him wrestling. I don't remember hearing about him dying till like years after he died. And then the way he died is even more bizarre. So, have to keep our eye out on that one. Meltzer also said that announcements of other new topics could be coming over the course of the next week. So
I still give them kudos to touch the subject of Benoit.
Yeah. That's gonna probably be the most watched episode.
Oh, I'm going to watch that many times, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because like you're gonna want to pinpoint what's accurate and what's not accurate on that one.
Yeah.
So, we want to send our get well wishes to Harley Race. You know, not related to Grumpy Cat.
Mm-hmm.
He has recently been hospitalized in Knoxville, Tennessee. He was going to do a convention this weekend, but his health has not gotten, or is not good at the moment, I should say. He is 76 years old, and they are currently, on Harley Race's website, they are doing a sort of a fundraiser where if you buy a shirt, all the proceeds are going to go help to pay for Harley Race's medical. I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean.
Bill.
Yes, thank you. I'm trying to find the link. It was here. Here we go. And I'll post a link up in our group as well. I'll send it to you now, Fro, so you take a look. And basically what the fundraiser is they have a shirt out for Harley Race.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice looking shirt. It comes in small, medium, large, extra large, double extra large, triple extra large, and 4XL. The orders are going to be shipped on August the 9th. So if you would like to get this shirt to help Harley race and, take care of his medical bills, we'll put the link up in the Facebook group and you guys can help out one of the all-time greats in Harley race.
Oh, definitely.
Tell me, stop me if you've ever heard this story, Fro. Jeff Hardy got arrested the other day.
Never heard that story before.
Huh. Well, last weekend, Jeff Hardy was arrested, and I'm going to read this article from TMZ. WWE wrestler Jeff Hardy, a.k.a. Brother Nero, was arrested down in South Carolina for allegedly being drunk in public. Jeff was arrested and booked Saturday for public intoxication and impairment in Myrtle Beach, where he posed for this mugshot. Jeff's distinguishable features are on full display. His large gouges in his ears and his unique facial hair make him stand out like a sore thumb among the weekend lineup for Myrtle Beach Police Department. It's unclear what exactly led to his arrest. We're working on getting more deets. That's what it actually says. Yeah. Deets. But we're told he was... Yeah, details. But we were told he was released at some point Saturday on less than $200 bond. WWE did release a statement about this saying, basically, WWE has nothing to do with this. This is Jeff Hardy. He's got to work on this. We actually had some comments about this. Are you ready for them?
Yeah.
One person said WWE should fire his ass. He hasn't learned from prior mistakes. He didn't do drugs. He just was drunk. There's a big difference.
There is, and I mean, there isn't.
Right. We had another comment. It wasn't a DWI. He didn't show up to a paid appearance or booking drunk. Nobody was harmed as a result of his behavior. Who gives a shit? And no, I don't think this warrants the WWE firing him. Oh, you give a shit about this?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I mean, it's not like he's the very greatest role model of all time, but I care about what he does. Yeah.
Right. And this last one is from a lady named Tilly.
Never heard of her.
She wrote, "Oh dear, being drunk in public is an arrestable offense over there. I'd be in so much trouble."
Yes, she would.
Yeah, you would, Tilly. You really would. This is going to end up being nothing. He didn't...
Yeah.
Because the thing is, he didn't hit anybody. He didn't kill anybody. He, didn't resist arrest. He was just drunk in public. That's all it was. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he has to pay like a fine or do community service, but that's really about it. I don't see anything else happening.
Okay.
We had a poll last week because I don't know if you've heard, Fro, but next week's our 400th episode.
No, never heard of this.
We're going to bring back a segment for one time only next week on our 400th episode. We gave our group 3 choices. Looking at WWE auctions, Fro gives Bill wrestling trivia, and This Day in Wrestling History. I can tell you all, next week, one time only, we are bringing back This Day in Wrestling History.
Yay!
A very unanimous victor in that poll, if I dare say so.
Nice.
Let me update you on the G1 Climax going on right now.
Please do.
They had some action today, so we're going to update you guys as of this recording. We're going to start in the A block, where we have a two-way tie for first. Kenta and Okada are tied at 6 points. Evil and Lance Archer are tied at 4 points. And then we have a big traffic jam towards the middle, almost to the bottom. Kota Ibushi, Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Bad Luck Fale, and Sonata with 2 points. And Zack Sabre Jr. surprisingly at the bottom with 0 points. He has not won a match yet.
Yeah,
I am surprised. Meanwhile, the B block, they had their matches today. These are the current standings. Jon Moxley is in first place all by himself with 6 points. Then we have a four-way tie, Tomohiro Ishii, Juice Robinson, Shingo, and Toru Yano have 4 points. Taichi, Jeff Cobb, Tetsuya Naito, and Hiroki Goto have 2 points. And Jay White, surprisingly, at the bottom with 0 points. Very, very surprising that he and Ospreay are at the bottom with no points.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
But it is early. They still have many more weeks to go. I would think by next week they're going to both get some points. I would think.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
Then again, we've been wrong in the past.
Never.
This weekend is San Diego Comic-Con, which is the biggest comic convention in the world, and it's an opportunity to preview new stuff. WWE obviously has put out upcoming figures that they're going to release, but New Japan Pro Wrestling released a series of action figures as well. Super 7 announced they would be producing a New Japan Pro Wrestling action figure line. They did not reveal any personalities that would be featured in the line, nor did they reveal the format or look of the toy line, just that they have acquired the license to produce the action figures.
Okay.
Super 7 holds licenses for a number of different franchises, including the Masked Republic's Legends of Lucha Libre and Universal Studios Monsters. Excuse me. They have produced a plethora of different movie and television properties via their reaction action figure line, which is meant to invoke the look and feel of the 1970s Kenner action figures popularized by Star Wars.
Cool.
So, yeah, very, very cool indeed.
Go and check out the new It trailer. Jesus Christ.
We'll see.
It's more terrifying than the new Cats trailer.
I don't know, man. After seeing that Cats trailer yesterday,
memories.
I tried. So,
hey, look, you're not allowed to watch that if you hear this.
I tried last night to get my dad to watch the trailer, and he was like, "Nope, not watching it."
Yeah.
No, it's music.
Yeah, I watched because the day before they released the kind of a documentary kind of style where they're like, "Oh, this is going to be new and revolutionary fur technology,
right?
And it will be looking so like cats."
Yeah, I
have never ever seen like that in my entire life.
Here's the thing that brought me to watching it. Because somebody posted it on Facebook, and I see the picture of a person, as one of the cats. So I'm like, okay, that's Jennifer Hudson. I know right away, because I can't stand the woman, especially what she did to David Otunga, which you guys can look up. I'm not going to get into it today. I'm not going to make myself angry. So, I'm like... okay, this has to be bad. That was my initial reaction.
It's so bad.
It is worse than I expected.
Oh, it's so bad.
And this is... Okay, here's the sad thing. The movie is directed by Tom Hooper. Who's the same guy who directed King's Speech, which is one of my favorite movies of this decade. And I loved that movie. And he also directed Les Miserables.
Yep.
And now he's doing Cats.
I can understand that they're going from Les Mis, because there was a lot of people that liked Les Mis. Not me, but a lot of other people. I'm a huge fan of the musical, so please don't get me wrong. I'm a very big fan of the musical. The movie itself, I'm not a big fan of, especially because one of the lead actors can't fucking sing in that movie.
Well, I think...
yes, I'm looking at someone special that played... what was Logan? Hint, hint. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just tell everyone who they.
Let's just say he was Australian. Hint, hint.
Well, no, I was gonna say this is who they have listed for the movie, or at least
Taylor Swift.
Well, I was gonna go in alphabetical order, but yes, Taylor Swift is in the movie. So
What
we have
the fuck?
we have James Corden. Okay, makes sense. He's a guy who's in the musical. Judi Dench. I'm surprised she would be doing this.
I think she that was one of her first roles or something.
Okay.
So I think because here's the weird thing. Andrew Lloyd Webber has said okay to this. I think Andrew Lloyd Webber is blind.
Well, he probably is a lot of things, but I'm not going to get into it.
You mean he has his little finger out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we could say that.
Yes.
Jason Derulo, who? Yeah, I don't know. Idris Elba. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
he's like the next Denzel. Okay.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hudson. Ian McKellen. I'm actually surprised he's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
The previously mentioned Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
And introducing Francesca Hayward.
Who?
Exactly. Why can't we have an Extreme Rules match of all these actors, and the last one survived? The last one alive has to see this movie in its entirety. The movie is set to be released December 20th.
Am I going to watch it? Yes. Am I going to watch it for the right reasons? Heck no.
Am I going to watch it? Only if it wins Best Picture at the Oscars next year.
Trust me.
Well, Fro, no, I think I've told you this. One of my life goals is to watch every Best Picture winner. And if, God forbid, there's not another good movie out this year and this ends up winning it, I'm going to have to watch it.
What's the worst picture winner of all time?
Of the ones that I've seen?
Yeah.
Let me pull out my list. I have the list in front of me, actually. Let's see. I wasn't a fan of Gentleman's Agreement, but it wasn't bad.
That's a very, very good pick, yeah.
Oliver I wasn't a fan of.
Ugh.
Deer Hunter, I got lost.
What? Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like Deer Hunter?
There's some parts I liked about it. Some parts.
Okay.
I think you and I discussed about Kramer versus Kramer.
Yes.
Terms of Endearment is okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. Crash. That's the worst one. That's the worst one. Because I was going to go through some of the others. I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah, I saw Crash. Never mind. That's the worst one.
Yeah. I wonder. What do they call the category again?
Best Picture?
Best Picture winner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You take some news and I will find mine.
Okay. While Fro's doing that, Colt Cabana announced on his Twitter yesterday that he is stopping, or he's going to put his podcast on a hiatus. Basically, between doing all these different wrestling shows, going around the world, doing different jobs, he cannot continue to do this on a weekly basis. He's got a lot to do. He announced, though, that he will be opening a Patreon where for about $4 a month, people can have unlimited access to his old podcasts. For an additional $1, he will put up new content from time to time. He mentioned if enough people sign up for the Patreon, he would do some new old-school one-on-one interviews with people he hasn't done a podcast with before. He noted he would be putting content from his live podcasts through the end of the year. The live Art of Wrestling podcast at Starcast 3 will be the last live show. You know what? I'm going to say it. His show started a few weeks before this one began, but it was an important part. I would listen to it a lot, basically every week for a long, long time. I think the peak of that podcast, if you want my opinion, my honest opinion, is when he did the Punk interview after he left WWE.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that was...
I agree.
Once he did that, there was no going back. Like, you can't go any higher, is basically what I'm saying. So,
I will give you some controversial opinions now.
Okay.
Chicago, didn't like Chicago. How did that win Best Picture in 2002? I have no clue. That is extremely weird. Where when I see what it goes against, because it was against Gangs of It's against Gangs of New York. Fucking amazing. The Hours, fucking amazing. Lord of the Rings to the Towers, fucking amazing, and The Pianist, fucking amazing. How did Chicago win?
It was a strong year.
Yeah. Then I will go Shakespeare in Love. Oh, that's bad movie.
No, yeah. How that beats Saving Private Ryan, I will never get.
And that in Red Line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same year. But, okay, here's my controversial pick. And people are going to say, what, really? I'm not a huge fan of Casablanca.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a huge... I never liked Casablanca. I watched it more than twice. But I think Casablanca is overrated.
I'll be honest with you, Fro, and this is going to surprise everybody. I've never seen that movie.
Casablanca?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what was let me look it up real quick before we go into our last topic. What was Casablanca up against that year for Best Picture?
For Who the Bell Tolls, very good movie. Heaven Can Wait, also very good movie. The Human Comedy, never seen it.
Okay.
In Which We Serve, have never seen. Madame Courier, I haven't seen. The More the Merrier, a very good movie. The Ox Bow Incident, never seen it. The Song of Barnadette, never seen it. And Watch on the Rhine, never seen it.
Wow, that's a pretty...
But Heaven Can Wait is a very good comedy.
Right. Oh, okay, The Song of Bernadette. I know this one. It's about this lady who sees the Virgin Mary.
Oh.
This is based on a true story, by the way, folks.
Oh.
Actually, what's interesting about this year, looking at it, because it's actually funny. Well, actually, let me say the stat, and then I'll mention it. the year that Casablanca won, this is the last year that they do 10 nominations for Best Picture until 2009.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
You know, and I was gonna say, Fro, I've been thinking about doing an Oscars podcast. It wouldn't start till next year, but I've been thinking about doing it. I have a great idea for it, but if I say it, you know, someone's gonna take it, you know, steal my idea.
No, come on, tell me the idea. We'll copyright it. Copyrighted material
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
I'll tell you after the show. Because we do have one final story to talk about.
Okay.
And that is during the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. We were informed that this coming Monday night on Raw, we're going to have another friggin' reunion.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And according to WWE, or the commercials, it's the biggest reunion in Monday Night Raw history.
Was it?
No, this coming Monday.
Oh, this coming Monday.
Monday. Because...
Was Monday Night Raw good, by the way, this week?
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Bray Wyatt returned, and it was done so perfect, Fro. It was done so perfectly. Oh, it was great. The fans bashed the bejesus out of this 4-way elimination match with Alexa Bliss in it. I mean, the fans were brutal. They were just brutal. And then Maria Kanellis wanted to wrestle a match, even though she's pregnant. So that was a pretty funny story there. Pretty funny segment. And then, the best part of Raw, once again, is the 24/7 title. And I have to... Okay, I'm going to spoil... Well, it's, 4 days old? I can
Yeah, you can spoil it.
So Drake Maverick and his wife, Renee, they go to a hotel because they're going to finally consummate the marriage. And he's got a bunch of $100 bills in his hand. I mean, he must have had like $1,000. So R-Truth comes by after Drake leaves, and he's got a referee, and he goes to the desk clerk, and he's like, can you look up Hornswoggle? Can you look him up? Did he register? And he gives him $1. He pays the guy $1 to
funny.
Let him see where they're going. So, and this is actually towards the end, what happens next. Drake puts, rose petals on the bed. He's wearing the belt around his waist. And, they're about ready to do it. And they get an order of champagne. Well, the guy who pushes the card, Drake recognizes him right away as a referee. So, R-Truth comes out. He attempts a pin, only gets a 2. And then R-Truth does a crossbody onto Drake, lands on the bed while Renee is in the bed. He gets the 3 count, wins the title, and as R-Truth leaves, he's yelling, "I hope you fix your constipation!" And here's Drake in his underwear, in his whities, and he leaves the hotel room trying to get the belt back. It is so funny. And then, on SmackDown, Carmella has the idea of having R-Truth go to Comic-Con. And R-Truth's like, "Look, Carmella, I done my time. I paid my debt to society." Which was really funny. And she's like, no. Comic-Con, it's a convention. So, right now, the story for the weekend is Drake Maverick is looking for R-Truth at the San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, man. So, anyway, this coming Monday night is allegedly the biggest reunion in the history of Raw. Because remember the last time we did a reunion, was their 25th anniversary show.
Yeah.
And how they botched that up.
Yeah.
This is, as of this recording, the lineup of people that will be a part of this reunion. And, Fro, you tell me if you like it or not.
No. Oh.
Alright, we have Mark Henry.
Okay.
Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
Gerald Briscoe.
Who? No, I'm just kidding.
Lillian Garcia.
No.
Alundra Blaze.
No.
Kelly.
No.
Rikishi.
No.
Ron Simmons.
The
Godfather.
Yeah. Yes. I like The Godfather.
Oh, yeah. Road Dogg.
Sure.
Sid. Steve Austin.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan.
No.
Ric Flair.
Oh, really?
Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
Razor,
like him.
Razor Ramon.
Good.
Diesel. Kurt Angle. Sergeant Slaughter. Christian.
Really? Okay.
Ted DiBiase.
Who fucking remembers him? Yes.
Well, I'm the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Oh, that.
Not Ted.
Okay. Okay.
Eric Bischoff.
Oh. Okay.
The Boogeyman.
Okay.
Jimmy Hart.
The
Hurricane.
Okay.
Santino Marella.
Oh.
That's probably the surprise one there.
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler. Devon Dudley. But not Bubba Ray.
No.
Booker T. And X-Pac.
Okay.
And I'm sure there will be more that are going to be added to that. Now,
doesn't sound super interesting, but okay.
A couple of interesting questions got put up on our Facebook. One of which was a poll, which was, are you going to watch the Raw reunion next week? And there were 3 choices. Yes, no, and no, and the WWE needs to stop doing these type of shows since they've proven in the past that these shows are such a huge success. Sarcasm. Most people said they're going to watch it. I gotta watch it. If I don't, what am I going to talk about with you next week?
I don't really care.
Now, here's another question. This is actually a pretty good question. What legendary wrestler will take the 24/7 title on Monday if only temporarily?
I would be funny.
I think Santino.
Sure. Oh, Santino, yeah.
I think Santino would.
Comedy, yeah. I can see that.
Because you can't really do it with, like, Flair, because Flair, you know, health-wise is not in the best shape. Hogan would probably be surprised to see Drake Maverick because he'll think, hey, didn't I see you in Impact, brother? From British Boot Camp. Maybe they'll give it to the Boogeyman. Boogeyman's never won a title in WWE.
Oh.
Come on, let the Boogeyman have a title.
Oh.
Boogeyman.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
I could see that happening, actually. I could see some legend briefly winning that title.
Yeah, I think you are briefly correct.
Briefly. All right. Well, that's going to really do it, folks, for this week. Quite an action-packed, exciting episode. Why don't we do our plugs, and then we'll get into what we're going to do next week.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you guys have any questions or comments, send an email. WrestlingMan@thatwrestlingshow.com. Pardon me, I've got the burps. You can follow the show on Twitter at WrestlingShow11. You can visit, or actually you can join our Facebook group. It is That Wrestling Show Fan Group. You type that in the search bar, you're right there. And if you can't find it, it's okay. I post a link in the description box, and you guys are right there. Check out the website, thatwrestlingshow.com, and visit the Patreon page, patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts. Fro, what do you guys have up on Another Digital Citizen this week?
Well, we talk about our least favorite and favorite fruit, vegetable, or berry.
Ooh.
Yeah. And you can also hear me getting very angry because of CNN.
Because of CNN?
Mm-hmm.
Not Fox News, but CNN.
Nope.
Wow.
CNN.
Okay. That's pretty interesting.
Very angry. Extremely angry.
Yeah. All right.
I can't say how angry.
I think we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Give you some plugs on other podcasts. Check out our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn. This week, they discuss such questions as, should Bret Hart have held the WWF title longer in 1997? What would have happened if Shawn Michaels had not retired? Plus, Week 4 of the Royal Flush of the worst Intercontinental Champions of all time. And they review the reboot of Stampede Wrestling with unforgettable wrestling names. So you're going to want to check that out. Plus, and I want to give us a plug, if you are not part of their Patreon page, they released this week their review of the 1987 Survivor Series. And I'm going to be upfront with everyone. That is my favorite review they have done so far since they've started that. So check them out at our Vantage Point. Speaking of checking out, how about the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with former referee Mike Crockett and soon-to-be co-holder of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, the Brawler, Brian Malonis. He and the Beer City Bruiser, they got a championship match coming up this weekend. Good luck to them. This week, they have an interview with the director of the wrestling documentary 350 Days, Fulvio Cesari. I hope I pronounced that last name right. If I didn't, I apologize. So they're going to interview about how the documentary was made and so much more. So check out the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing. And if you like your podcasts, one person, then check out Greetings from Allentown with Pete Winson. He watches one wrestling show each week and discusses it in his own unique way. This week, he discusses an episode of WWF Superstars from July 7th, 1990. So that is Greetings from Allentown. And if you're looking for some non-wrestling related podcasts, check out the Best Pick Movie Podcast, where three fans of the movies, three British fans of the movies, they watch each and every Academy Award winning picture in no order. This week, they discuss The French Connection. Should that have won Best Picture? I say yes, it should have.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a very good movie.
And I'm going to say it now. If you listen to it, you really want to go all the way to the end, because their next episode, I saw the list of the next one. Oh, it's going to be a hard one. But it's going to be fun to listen to. And check out Unspooled with Paul and Amy. They watch each movie of the American Film Institute's list of the 100 greatest movies of all time, the 2007 list. This week, they discuss the movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Okay.
That's a really good movie. You should...
It's a very underrated movie.
Yeah. Very, very good. So check that out. Unspooled, and all the other podcasts that were mentioned. All right. Next week is the 400th episode of That Wrestling Show. We're going to have some guests on the show next week, and I have the perfect topic to discuss because recently, this week, I got the latest edition of Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, and the cover story of the magazine is a discussion about AEW, why it will succeed and why it will fail. So next week, Fro, myself, and our guests, we are going to have a discussion, and we're going to ultimately decide from hearing the two articles, will AEW succeed or will AEW fail? Plus, we'll also have another SummerSlam report and your up-to-the-minute news as well. Everybody, have a good, safe weekend. For the love of God, please stay indoors. It's going to be hot all over the United States this weekend. Do not go outside unless you absolutely, positively need to be outside, which I really don't know why you would. But when you're done staying cool, come back here next week for another episode of That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And as always,
it's getting hot, hot, hot.
I'd rather listen to that than watch Cats the movie.